What if I told you the most powerful characters in One Piece didn't become legends through luck or devil fruits alone? What if Luffy's seemingly reckless nature is actually his greatest weapon? Well, if you want to know what gives the strongest characters in One Piece their strength, I've got you covered. Starting with Monkey D. Luffy. Luffy gets punched in the face constantly. He rushes into battles without thinking. He's been poisoned, frozen, burned, and beaten within an inch of his life, more times than anyone can count. Yet somehow, this rubber airhead keeps getting back up and winning against opponents who should absolutely destroy him. So what's his secret? Luffy may not be the smartest fighter, but he possesses something that makes him nearly impossible to defeat. His absolutely unbreakable willpower. This isn't just about being stubborn. Luffy's will is so strong that he's survived things that should have killed him multiple times over. He endured Magellan's poison, took on all the pain Kuma absorbed from his crew, fought through Marineford after losing his brother, and kept getting back up against Kaido, even when his body was completely broken. Luffy's just built different. Zoro, on the other hand, is obsessed. There's really no other way to put it. From the moment Kuina died, this man has been single-mindedly pursuing one goal, becoming the world's greatest swordsman. He lifts weights while others sleep. He trains until his hands bleed. He refused to back down even when Mihawk completely outclassed him at the Baratier. So what makes this obsession his greatest weapon? Zoro's greatest strength isn't his three-sword style or even his incredible haki. It's his absolute, unshakable dedication to becoming the strongest. This man has never, not once, wavered from his goal of becoming the world's greatest swordsman. When Mihawk destroyed him at the Baratier, Zoro didn't break. Instead, he vowed to never lose again. When he took all of Luffy's pain from Kuma, he did it without hesitation, because his captain's dream mattered more than his life. He even conquered Enma, a sword that was draining his haki to death, through pure willpower. That kind of dedication doesn't just make you strong, it makes you inevitable. Talking about inevitable, the next character on this list is literally the definition of inevitable. Kaido is called the King of the Beasts, the strongest creature, the man who people bet on in a one-on-one fight. And honestly, those titles are completely justified, but not for the reasons most people think. Kaido's strength is simple, but absolutely terrifying. His durability is beyond anything else in the series. This man has been captured 18 times, tortured repeatedly, and survived 40 execution attempts. He's been sentenced to death by the Marines, and they literally couldn't kill him. Guillotines broke on his neck. Spears shattered against his skin. They tried to hang him, and the chain snapped. But what makes this truly overwhelming is that Kaido doesn't just survive, he keeps fighting at full strength. During his battle on Onigashima, he fought the 9 Red Scabbards, then the Worst Generation, then Luffy multiple times, all while holding up an entire island with his flame clouds. Kaido is simply in a league of his own. Next up is Shanks. This man lost an arm saving a kid who couldn't even swim. He doesn't have a devil fruit. He's not constantly picking fights or trying to prove how strong he is. In fact, he seems more interested in drinking and partying than actually conquering anything. Yet somehow, when this man shows up, emperors pay attention, admirals back off, and the 5 elders agree to meet with him personally. What makes Shanks so feared? Shanks' greatest strength is his haki, specifically his conqueror's haki, which is on a level that seems to break the rules of the world itself. We've seen powerful conqueror's haki before, but Shanks is different. He can project his haki across entire islands. When he stepped onto Whitebeard's ship, the wood started cracking just from his presence. He knocked out most of Whitebeard's crew without even trying. But the truly terrifying part is what we saw at Wano and later in the anime. Shanks can see the future with his observation haki, and then uses conqueror's haki to shut down enemies before they can even act. He canceled an admiral's ability from miles away. His haki is so refined that it acts like an offensive weapon, a defensive shield, and a prophetic warning system all at once. At number 5, we have Garp. Unlike other overpowered One Piece characters, Garp is old. He's retired. He doesn't have a devil fruit. In a world where the strongest people are walking around with reality-warping powers, this old Marine is still out here fighting with just his fists. And somehow, that's enough to make him a legend. How does that even work? Garp's greatest strength is that he perfected haki to an extent that he never needed a devil fruit. In a world where the strongest fighters often rely on their devil fruit abilities, Garp became a legend through pure haki and physical strength alone. This man cornered the Pirate King multiple times. He's called the hero of the Marines for defeating the Rocks Pirates alongside Roger. He casually threw cannonballs like bullets and punched through battleships. What makes this so powerful is that Garp has 0 weaknesses that come with devil fruits. He can swim, he can't be nullified by Sea Stone or Blackbeard's darkness, and he doesn't have to worry about unique devil fruit counters. His armament haki is so strong that his punches might as well be nuclear weapons. Even in old age, he was fighting Blackbeard's entire crew and nearly won. He's a straight-up menace. Law is known as the Surgeon of Death, and while he's definitely a powerful fighter with incredible haki, what really sets him apart from every other pirate in the New World is his Devil Fruit. Law's greatest strength is his Ope Ope no Mi, which is arguably the most versatile Devil Fruit in existence. This fruit doesn't just give him one powerful ability, it gives him complete spatial control within his room. He can teleport objects and people, swap their positions, cut anything apart without killing it, reassemble body parts, remove diseases and toxins, and even perform impossible surgeries that can cure incurable conditions. And if he wanted to, he could perform the perennial youth operation that grants immortality, though it would cost him his life. Every fight against Law is a fight where the basic rules of combat don't apply anymore, and that's an advantage that very few people can counter. Another character almost impossible to defeat is Charlotte Katakuri. For years, Katakuri was undefeated, the strongest Sweet Commander, Big Mom's most reliable son, and a man who had literally never fallen on his back in battle. However, he wasn't so dominant just because of his powerful Devil Fruit or his physical strength. Katakuri's greatest strength is his absolutely perfect observation haki that allows him to see into the future. Not just sense attacks coming, but actually see several seconds ahead with perfect clarity. Combined with his Mochi Mochi no Mi that lets him reshape his body and copy his opponent's techniques, Katakuri had gone his entire life without ever losing because he made it impossible to even land a hit on him. Katakuri spent the entire fight with Luffy staying ahead, until Luffy literally had to develop Future Sight himself just to compete. And even then, Katakuri was still slightly better at it. For most enemies, fighting Katakuri is like playing chess against someone who's already seen all your moves. You just can't surprise him, you can't outplan him, and you can't land a clean hit unless you're operating on the same precognitive level. Talking about landing a hit, Dracule Mihawk is one of the only One Piece characters that can defeat strong enemies with a single hit. Mihawk doesn't have a crew, he doesn't have a Devil Fruit, he doesn't seem particularly interested in the chaos of the pirate world, and yet, this man is feared by everyone who picks up a sword, respected by emperors, and casually sails the Grand Line in a tiny boat shaped like a coffin. Why? Because Mihawk's greatest strength is simple. He's the world's greatest swordsman, and he earned that title through absolute perfection of his craft. This man sits at the top of all swordsmen, which in the One Piece world means he's mastered one of the most respected and dangerous fighting styles to its absolute limit. He can cut through entire ships with a casual swing. He can deflect bullets with his tiny cross knife. His Black Blade Yoru is one of the only two known black blades in existence, forged through countless battles and perfect haki control. But what makes Mihawk truly special is his complete mastery and restraint. He's so far beyond most swordsmen that he's bored. He hunted Don Krieg across the Grand Line just because he had nothing better to do. He agreed to train Zoro, his eventual rival, because he respected the dedication. Mihawk doesn't need to prove himself anymore. Everyone already knows he's the strongest. That level of undisputed mastery means that when Mihawk actually tries, when he actually draws his blade with intent, he's essentially unbeatable by anyone who relies on swordsmanship. He's the final boss of an entire fighting style, and unless you've got something beyond pure sword skill, you're not winning that fight. Next up is Portgas D. Ace's story is tragic because we never got to see him reach his full potential. He died young protecting his brother, before he could truly become the legend he was meant to be. But even in his short career as a pirate, Ace showed exactly why the world government feared him so much. Ace's greatest strength was his Merimeta no Mi mastery, combined with his natural talent and conqueror's haki. Even as a teenager, Ace was making a name for himself as one of the most promising pirates of the seas. His Logia Devil Fruit gave him intangibility, flight, long-range attacks, and devastating firepower that could destroy entire fleets. He became a Whitebeard commander at a young age, earned a massive bounty, and was offered a warlord position. Ace had so much potential. He had Conqueror's Haki, the sign of a king. He had the Will of D. He was Roger's son, carrying the bloodline of the Pirate King. His flames were hot enough to match Blackbeard's darkness and clash evenly with Admiral's. If Ace had lived and continued growing stronger, he could have easily become one of the most powerful people in the world. If you were to pick the abilities of any one of these characters, which one would it be? Let me know in the comments.